First and 10 and it's about to go down. Surveying the feel of hungry warriors and the sound of many hearts to pound. The drum beat, a war in the struggle. The more that you hustle, reach the end zone for they touch you and hope that God and baby Jesus will bless you. Take the lumps, make it through before you fall to your knees. You give the lumps, second down a couple yards that you gain. Maintain when life hits you the hardest, gotta block out the pain. No interceptions, keep the turnovers low. When you rumble, tight grip, eyes forward, never causing a fumble. Never second guess, we move together as a team. Millionaires and champions, we unite for the dream. Third down, we got knocked back. The contact of life will do that.
Hello and welcome to Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me is a man who's getting ready to shut him down. It's Norbert Morvan.
You're not a flash in the pan wide receiver. You're a goddamn quarterback.
I just want to say, Norbert, this is a lot. This movie, you know, I've listened to multiple commentaries, read the longest beautiful oral history ever from Ringer. I listened to the rewatchables. I listened to Howie Long and his son talk about it. Like I watched the movie. Like there's 3,200 shots in this movie.
3,200.
They shot it in amazingly 65 days, which is mind-numbing. I want to read something from the DP, and you know this quote, but the DP, this just makes me very, very happy. By the way, like Salvatore Totino, he said, I came home with PTSD. I remember having these crazy headaches and calling my doctor like, I think I've got brain cancer. You start questioning yourself. Who am I? What am I doing with my life? What's going on? I lost 20 pounds making the movie. You don't think of these things. You're just in the middle of it all the time. This movie, man, I love it. Listen, like Stone did it. Like this movie, it's literally 3 movies into one. He took 3 scripts that were existing and smashed them into one, a 2.5 hour movie. But you know what, man? There are moments in this Pacino speech, like Howie Long said it was the greatest speech ever in a sports movie. And it was kind of cool to see a former football player talk about it. And his son, I guess, is a former football player. But like just LT, man, like give LT a best supporting actor nom. You know, like give him that. Willie Beeman, like just Jamie Foxx jumped into superstardom with this. Pacino
nails it.
You know, I'm not the first one to say this, but like Pacino probably given one of the best of his last, like the last great Pacino role, maybe.
Yeah, that's right. Because it's not just you got a great ass. It's not you know, it's not weird. You know what I mean? He's got the pathos
that inches
of the divorce. He's got the inches speech. He's got that part early in the movie where he's on the phone, but he's not actually on the phone. He's just hammered and talking to his wife, but she's not on the phone. He's talking to himself. That was nuts. And so he's got all of this self-loathing and hate. It's a meaty part. It's one of his last absolutely meaty parts.
I've always loved Cameron Diaz. I've always thought she was great. You know, I liked her back to 99, but watching it again now that I'm older, you know, married, have a daughter, like just watching her in this movie, like she was raised to be a boy, but then all the guys in the room, like, oh, hey, honey, why don't you go cook some meals? You know, or like Al Pacino grabs her by the arm one time and drags her in another room. Like you try doing that to Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
like
Jerry Jones will hit you with a bottle of blue, Johnny Walker Blue.
So a big one of the really huge, her in this role, you know, she like, it was really funny during the rewatchables. Like she wants to move the team to LA. She wants to keep Aaron Eckert, and like that's not a bad move. They're the second team in Miami. It's like just watching her in this movie, like, oh, you would sell your young, and like no wonder she's pissed off at the world. She was like grew up in the football world, knows more about football than anybody else, but everyone's like, hey, maybe you should be home.
Why don't you shut up and get pregnant? Yeah, word. It's come on, man.
Oh, man.
Nothing that she says is out of bounds. Look at what's happening with California football at this point. You know what I mean? Yeah. She's accurate. Okay. You want to put a team in one of the biggest, most international cities in the world because infinite profits. Why do you think the Dodgers gave all of that backloaded money to Ohtani? Do you know how much money they're going to get just from Japan?
Yeah.
If they stop talking about baseball in California and just, we are a team for Japan only, they're making GDP money.
All those jerseys, man, like all the sales
just off the jersey. Yeah.
Like,
she knew what she was doing.
and you know, like watching Quaid in this movie, man. Quaid looks good in this movie. He's in his 40s, but he's playing like a guy in his 30s, but he looked really good in it. Like LL's great. Lawrence Taylor comes out, he knocks out a monologue in a sauna that's like, give him an Oscar. Like he's just knocking lines out. And just listen, I know it's heightened. Everyone that's watched it, like Howie Long, everybody, I know I keep driving his name, but a lot of people, even Oliver Stone, they're like, he made a joke. He's like, "Welcome to Vietnam." Like he made this. He was a provocateur, and he made, you know, like the nudity and like the women and the parties and the alligator. Like a lot of players say that never happens, but he's like, I don't care. Like I just want to blow this movie up. Like I could care less. Like who cares? Like, and like just the bathroom scene that's in the director's cut. And man, you know, in '99, Norbert, this movie, I wasn't, you know, I knew Oliver Stone. I watched Natural Born Killers when I was 12. I had seen Platoon, I had seen Born, like all those movies. I wasn't ready for this in '99.
No one was. No one was. That's how come this movie has a 52% Rotten Tomatoes rating,
Yeah.
which for a long time, I'm not gonna lie to you, made me hate Rotten Tomatoes. I was like, this is everything that's wrong with the world. This is a perfect, not just sports movie. This movie is so critical about things that we need to be critical about. Abusing people for profit, ignoring pain, keeping women down, taking advantage of minorities, drinking yourself to death so that you can, quote unquote, you know, work, you know, you work to live instead of live to work, that type of thing. The fact that the NFL is evil. This is why this movie's at 52%, because people didn't want the truth.
No.
That little monologue that he has when he's eating the terrible jambalaya at Coach's house,
the gladiator, the Ben-Hur moment.
Yeah, when he look, man, you know, the coach, he thinks I should be. He got me chasing. He got me chasing 250-pound because I'm not supposed to be doing that. I'm a quarterback, you know. So I hurt my shoulder, and then he get to the NFL, you know, and I'm the only one who got suspended for getting a $250 suit because I just want to look nice. And look at the NCAA now, bro. It's almost gone because the NIL stuff is. It's just, yeah, you're right. Actually, let's just pay the kids. Yeah, we should. We should pay the kids because you're right.
You know what's great about
that? He called all of that. He called all of that. So yeah, the people did not like just here is the literal gross underbelly of this of your Sunday sport. You don't like it, do you? You don't like it. I'm Oliver Stone.
And just, you know, the concussion protocol. I mean, look at the movie Concussion. You know, just like the amount of head trauma that people had. Like, and also we talked about The Replacements, a movie many people love, but it's like, oh, these bums don't want to get all these bonuses. They should just get their brains rattled for cheap.
Exactly.
And like they glorified that. But like this one, like the like the racial injustice, the medical malpractice, like the corporate greed, like but it's Stone though. Here's the thing. If Stone made a PG-13 version of this, I would hate it.
Oh, like, it would be the worst.
It's because it's just crap, you know, and it probably is funded by the NFL. Stone doesn't care. Like the NFL blew him off a week before. They had to delay filming, and they had to make the uniforms, and they made him the Sharks. So I like it. But they but see, this movie had to have that bathroom scene. It had to have that scene with Jamie Foxx and his girlfriend where they're just yelling at each other. He's like, "Oh, what? Now I'm famous, and you want to do all this and like ride my coattails?" And like it needed. I think it needed to be that, and it needed to have James Woods, you know, like even though he's like a party doctor, which I love, he's like on the sideline standing next to him, but it's James Woods. And
definitely he definitely invented the here is an IV after you get drunk for 3 days thing that rich people do now. He definitely invented that.
It's just a bruise. But you know what's crazy? When I played football in high school, I destroyed my ankle. Norbert, you could see it from 100 yards away how puffed up it was. My coaches were like, "You're faking it." And
you're faking.
No, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious. Like, get up and play. Get up and play. And I remember just thinking, like, guys,
I'm really hurt here.
Yeah, like, you know, even in my 15-year-old brain, I was kind of like, you can see this. You can see my like, this isn't faking it. Like, this thing looks like a muskmelon right now.
You do understand my ankle's not supposed to be round, right? Should I locate a parent and or guardian because you're not getting this?
It was insane, and I still have ankle problems today. But it's like, yeah, it's just a bruise. But man, this movie, I think it just needed to be a lot. It needed to be like they shot this in 65 days and 3,200 shots. It was 5.5 hours when they cut it, like 1,000 optic
Pro
shots.
professional. Okay.
Yeah.
You even get little nods to anime when you get the shaky cam, slow mo, kind of in focus, hyper focus, out of focus shots that he does on the field. It's the best looking football that you're ever going to see because he's not necessarily trying to capture all of the intricacies and nuances of and the offensive tackle goes here and he's showing you the brutal and the quickness, the speed of this game. You don't have time to think. You either know, you do your checkdowns and you get rid of the ball, or you're doomed. You see the hits that Cap took in that last playoff game? He's getting murdered.
Yeah,
and this is after he got a bone removed from his back less than how many times in the real NFL have you heard, yeah, he broke his ribs, but he's gonna play on Sunday?
Oh man.
What?
He was getting younged there. Remember when Steve Young just kept taking
Steve Young was Steve Young caught a couple of concussions too. He got out. Steve Young knew what time it is.
Yeah.
Like, you know what? 1, 2, 3, 7. Okay, I quit. Yeah, I can't count anymore. I'm done.
I'm not saying concussions don't count like this, but I'm a big fan of MMA. I've been watching MMA forever. And it seems like there's a very distinct point for a lot of fighters when their chin goes. Like I remember Chuck Liddell, he had an iron chin, but there was like 3 fights in a row where he was wailing on Rich Franklin, winning the fight. I think Rich Franklin had a broken hand, broken forearm, and then Rich Franklin just uncorks a right, knocks him out. Like, and then it's just Rashad Evans knocked him out. Like his chin disappeared. Wanderlei Silva's chin disappeared. I think sometimes with football players, they probably been concussed their whole lives, but it just seems like there's a point where you just kind of flick them in the head and they get a concussion after about 7 of them. And I know it doesn't work like that because there's a skull, but like I think Young and a lot of quarterback, like Austin Collie, remember him? That guy couldn't avoid concussions as a wide receiver. Like it's just kind of nuts how. And then he tries to quit Dennis Quaid, and his wife destroys him, and
his wife is a trophy wife who enjoys being a trophy wife more than she loves her husband.
Yeah,
the cynicism involved in being a human like that is galling and disturbing.
And she lets him have it, man. I wasn't used to that kind of Lauren Holly. Well, no, I'd seen Beautiful Girls, and she was pretty stone cold in that. But then, yeah, this one took it to the next level.
She smacked fire out of Dennis Quaid, and it caught him by surprise too, because like you said, they made this movie in 60 something days.
Jeez, dude.
So that's not CGI slap, kids. She slapped Dennis Quaid. You know what I mean? She slapped him for real. She caught him off guard. That's great acting. Not unlike the unfortunate Kramer versus Kramer slapping that you hear about.
Dustin Hoffman, right?
With Dustin Hoffman. Yeah.
Yeah. But those were the best glory days of Hollywood. But and also too, I love in this movie with that Patrick Madman Kelly. He's at his home and all his kids are running around. She's like, "Why don't we get a maid?" He's like, "Then what would you do?" And then the next, when he goes to that
why
party,
did I get married?
Yeah, then the next night at the party has an escort with him, and it's just,
you can't. You want to call these women escorts because you don't want to use the W word, but you just, I mean, man, these women, they're getting money. Oliver Stone is showing you the side of the call girl life, quote unquote, that you might not have been ready for, because some of these girls here, look, was that Elizabeth Berkley?
Yeah, that was Elizabeth Berkley,
bro. She slides up to Pacino. Hey, how you doing? Oh man, I've been a fan of you since I was 16. Wow, you're my favorite coach. You're awesome. So it'll be $1,000 a night, 5,000. Let me know if you're okay. Good. I'll talk to you later. That's just straight business. That's just straight business. That's not the first, second, or 14th time she has done that.
And when he asked her to stay with him, like be the girlfriend, I just felt so bad for him. I'm like, oh, Al.
Yeah, words. And you don't want to do this. Smile. Oh, wow.
Man.
Yeah.
He's just, he's just a sad alcoholic in this movie, Al Pacino, who
nothing but the game. Nothing but the game.
He's still, but you know what's kind of interesting though is to get to where he was to win the Pantheon Cup, to succeed, that's kind of what you have to do. It's like a Damien Chazelle movie, where it's like La La Land or Whiplash. You have to ditch everyone around you and commit yourself to it. And he found success, but then when you find that success, you're just lonely. So
Well,
it's kind of like There Will Be Blood, I guess. But
he pushed away everyone who loves him. He pissed away his money.
yeah,
Does he actually talk to his wife at all during this movie or kids? It's never really clear. You know, everybody has given everything and sacrificed everything to either play the game or get a piece of the money from the game. The call girls, the hideous doctors, the cruel owners, and the game just chugs along, man.
yeah, and it just leaves people with a bunch of concussions and
And worse.
and bad backs. And you know what? I was reading an interview from a former football player about this movie, and he's like, a lot of people don't understand that when you leave the league, and let's say you got paid decently, but your body's kind of wrecked. So then, what do you
Yeah.
do with the rest of your life when you're 32 and your body's wrecked? Like, what jobs do you do? So it's a very interesting concept. And I think when people are like, all these loudmouth athletes who are, you know, who just run their mouths and get paid lots of money, they should just shut up and get hurt. But I mean, I guess if you look at the market share of a team, the league revenue, the cable sales, the jersey sales, the video games, they should get a cut. So
You think?
yeah. And I don't know, man. That's why I like this movie. There's so many things to talk about. It's very hard. It's like this movie with its just manic shot list. It's almost hard to focus on one thing for a long period of time because you want to go full Oliver Stone in this movie. He paid for 120 songs in this movie. There's no score. It's all songs.
This is now we talked about the replacement and all the needle drops and how they were kind of cynical needle drops, because it was basically
Tell you how to feel.
Yeah, let's put the Jock Jams CD in, press play, and we've done the soundtrack for this film. We're good. We're just gonna play Jock Jams. Yo, Oliver Stone, he gets the DMX intro to the second album. My N words, because we're not dropping that here. but during that, what is Willie Beeman doing? Willie Beeman is showing you, yeah, y'all are my people, but I'm the leader, man. I'm the one holding this down. I'm on a come up. I'm putting this thing together. That was a great needle drop right there. You wouldn't expect that. The song, he drops the Nina Simone in there. And you can say, sure, I'm going to play some Nina Simone because it'll make you feel bad, but what a choice. And that's Pacino again. He picks up the card for the call girl, and I'm actually not going to call her even though I'm hammered because I'm in an even worse place than I was when I was with her. Oy, oy, oy. And he only goes for the cliche songs a few times. You get the Gary Glitter in there when Willie Beeman first comes off the bench. We get some Gary Glitter. Hey, that's when Willie Beeman, I told you to warm up 5 minutes ago. What?
That thing's upside down. Man, that backup quarterback, like, dude, I need my helmet. Yeah, that would help.
Yeah, Cherubini's the worst, man. Cherubini's the worst. You saw he puts the ball up, he throws the ball like a dead duck, man. And that's another thing that's wonderful about this movie. They wanted to get Puffy in there, and they said that Puffy couldn't throw.
Yeah.
And
so
to the credit,
2 yards,
bro, to the credit of Oliver Stone, man, you get some straight shots of Jamie Foxx launching that ball in a tight spiral. Some beautiful shots. And you get a good shot of Dennis Quaid launching that ball. Beautiful tight spiral when he's playing the use me, because you're going to use me up. And that's after Cap comes in the game and he's taking some brutal hits and he can't play well anymore. And he throws that shot and it's just short. And the look on his face like, oh my God, I think this really is the end. Because he usually doesn't miss that throw. But he just threw it short of the receiver.
The casting's perfect, man. Like, Quaid looks like LL Cool J is like a running 230-pound running back. Like, he looked great. Like, just bringing LT in as Shark, like he fit that. And like that Patrick Madman Kelly, I feel like he would rip my head off. Like, he would destroy John Favreau from The Replacement. Yeah, like Andrew,
with the face
Metallica.
paint?
Yeah, Metallica.
Oh my God. Yeah. Oh, I was scared. I'm scared of that man every time.
just some even Aaron
Every
Eckhart
time.
looked like an offensive coordinator.
Crozier.
Remember Julian Washington when Ella was just like, and you're just offensive coordinator. Like, oh man, that's like the best line ever.
I
And then
am.
you,
I am. Yeah, go
oh
ahead.
man, and then you bring in Charlton Heston as like the lead leaguer, of course, because it has like at this time it has to be Heston.
Yeah,
And like you bring him in, like it's just brought. You know what's interesting? This movie was pushed back a long time, and Cameron Diaz signed on for this movie before she was a big star. And according to Stone in his commentary, he actually wrote something kind of funny. He wrote that she did not. Oh, I found a really good. He said that she didn't. I got a really good quote here from him. I'm looking. But he basically said that she didn't just like back out on her word and ask for more money because this is after there's something about Mary, and this is after the like just when she hit it big. But he said, yeah, like she stuck to the original deal. She made pennies on the dollar. Pacino made pennies on the dollar, and that way I was able to take my budget and stretch it because Cameron Diaz, who probably could have got more money, was good to her word. He said Pacino was good to his word, so I thought that was pretty cool. Like he threw a lot of respect at Cameron Diaz. So she said she didn't try to weasel out, and he said that she took a fraction of the salary that she should have been paid because she just wanted to be here. Everyone wanted to be here. Like no matter how bad Nixon was, it was still nominated for Oscars. It didn't make money.
And it's a solid movie.
Yeah.
I like that movie.
And like U-Turn, whatever. It's like a noir, like just whatever. But then Natural Born Killers, like JFK, he was still throwing a heater.
Right.
So it's like everyone still wanted to work with him. And yeah, like it's just crazy. Like all these actors, he probably didn't pay him all that money. Like Aaron Eckhart, he said he was just on the set all the time. And like one day, I guess he showed up when he wasn't even on a call sheet. And Stone's like, get to work. So he threw him out on the field as the offensive coordinator, and he started yelling at players. And apparently, according to Eckhart, the players wanted to fight him, like the actors, because it's a bunch of arena football players, all these, and they want to fight him. Like, they're like, who are you? He's like, I'm your offensive coordinator. I guess he was just dropping a bunch of F-bombs on him. It's like everyone's in character. LL's fighting Jamie. Jamie's sucker punching LL later on. Like it's insanity, this shoot, man.
This fight, the testosterone. Because LL, look, man, again, people, oh, LL Cool J is just a rapper. LL Cool J has been famous since before he could legally drink. Okay, and internationally so. You're 16, 17 years old. You grew up in a tough family environment, and not only are you an international star, you're an international star in a genre that didn't exist until last year.
Yeah,
you are the hottest thing on earth, and now here you are, a grown ass man. He's 30-something years old. And Jamie Foxx, yeah, he's on the come up. He was on In Living Color. He's funny. Did some Def Comedy Jam stuff. But who are you?
Yeah.
You understand who I am? I will literally punch you in the... Oh, as a matter of fact, I just did. I will punch you in the goddamn face. I am LL Cool J. Put respect on my name. All my albums are platinum. All of them. Yo.
He slammed Jamie's head into a crane during a fight. And they said it was lucky that Jamie had his helmet on or his head would have cracked. Like just... Oh man! And then
LL Cool J got that body pre implants, bro. That's actual exercise.
Yeah,
like dude, he's not huge. A weak man. Yeah, he will knock you out.
He will literally knock you out.
Yeah, and, Mama said so.
Yeah, and also Jamie Foxx was telling a story later on about how they were at a club. They were somewhere, and Jamie Foxx just kind of scoped him out. And then, like, when LL was just standing there, Jamie just sucker punched him and ran away.
That's how you got to do it, though. Jamie Foxx is a little dude, man. Not a big dude.
Yeah. It's hilarious, though, man. I guess he just came out, like, he's like, I watched him. And I was like a jaguar. He didn't even see me coming. I guess when he turned his back. And then I guess he made up a line. He said, whenever you sucker punch somebody, you always say something stupid. Like, you don't just go, hey, you punk.
Yeah,
like,
that's right.
Hey, you punk, you better get some of that if you don't like it, bud. Like this. Something
but then
like
you have to haul ass in the opposite direction because you don't want these problems.
I guess he he got LL pretty good with the sucker punch and he ran away.
You have to. You have to. Look at the album cover for Mama Said Knock You Out. That's not roids, man. That's just exercise. That's just exercise, man. That man is a problem. I don't want to fight LL Cool J.
Listen, man, he survived Michael Myers. He survived genetically modified sharks. Like the guy's a beast.
His head is like a shark's fin, yo. What part of that do people not understand?
What song do you prefer? Shut 'Em Down or from this movie or Deepest Bluest?
Oh,
from 99. He had two legit 99 songs.
That's right. And I got to go with Shut 'Em Down because it's DJ Scratch, man. DJ Scratch is behind basically the first two or three Busta Rhymes albums that came out at around in 97.
Oh,
And he's EPMD's DJ
so,
for a
ooh.
minute.
Is that why he's
Yeah.
going pretty fast there, LL?
That's what it is, man. I could shut have brother down so fast. Oh, that's my jam, son. That's my jam. And he's just and in typical LL fashion, he's running up and down the field at Giant Stadium, and this woman is sitting in the sidelines watching him while basically just kind of playing with herself. It's what a video. What a video for this song. You know? And he's doing press, he's doing chest presses. Oh my god, why did I forget? What's that exercise?
He's riding ATVs, he's bench pressing.
Yeah, thank you. He's bench pressing women.
Yeah.
It's just, oh man. Is he my hero? I don't know if I should say he's my hero in these modern times.
So
There was a time when he was.
I mean, I think I went to Circuit City to buy Goat. I remember that. I remember took the girl I was dating at the time. I made her go. We went to Circuit City so I could buy that album, and I had a CD player that I traded for a tennis racket that was in my '94 Dodge Shadow.
Nice.
And it was loose, so every time I hit the gas, it came out a little bit. The CD player, and I had to push it back in. But yeah, I bought Goat so I could listen to it.
It's a decent album.
Yeah, it was fine.
Decent.
But I mean, I don't know. This movie too. Like, also Lawrence Taylor had just been arrested for buying crack, and he got brought down to Miami from Jersey, and he had to have people with him at all times. And then he turns out just this incredible role. Like, he was better. Oh, Michael Clark Duncan was cast, but Michael Clark Duncan's just not. They said he didn't have the athleticism, so he got Green Mile,
and that's hilarious.
Then LT took over. So,
but Lawrence Taylor, oof,
yeah.
Go ahead, Danny.
Oh no, this guy. He's just great. He's really good, man.
I grew up in New York in the 80s. I was a Giants fan, 86 and 90. Those are my teams, man. And LT, when Pacino, he revolutionized linebacking. That's what LT did, man. LT was a problem. So when you see LT doing all these chants and screaming at people and whatnot, you feel like you're standing there with him in Giant Stadium as he's on the way to getting these NFL championships, getting the Super Bowl rings. And when he gives that, let me tell you something. For every sucker who makes it, for every Barry Sanders, every Jerry Rice, there's 100 you ain't never heard of. And you're just sitting there, oh my God, LT gets it.
Dude.
This was you. This was you, man. Because he's not rich now. Mm-mm. He really did blow a lot of his cash on, unfortunately, underage hookers and coke,
He needs to get out of Jersey.
Oh, man. Well, everyone does.
Yeah, that's true.
There's a reason why we New Yorkers mock New Jersey. You go there, you understand rather quickly. Does it want to be a small town? Does it want to be a big city? Which one is it? You go to Newark? It's weird and gross.
Sorry, New Jersey. We love you.
It's just weird. Get off the train in Newark. It looks like a scene out of Mad Max or Fist of the North Star. What the hell's going on at this train station? I'm sorry. It's years of being a New Yorker.
Just this camera work is so tight. They probably couldn't fill up the stand, so you have to keep everything tight. You have to get so many shots, and so no wonder they had 5 to 6 editors working on this movie. Like this, I don't know, man. To shoot this in 65 days, and to get what he got, like it's just, and like I guess he was on the sideline shooting B-roll Oliver Stone to save money.
Sure.
It kind of sucks when you have a director like that, Norbert. It's like, let's say you're going to make this movie, and other directors would not nearly get what he got, but you see him on the sidelines at 12, midnight, running with a camera, getting footage.
Yeah,
you're kind of like, oh crap, like that means I got to step up my game. Like you don't want to be the person that lets down Oliver Stone when he's up till midnight partying and shooting with a camera.
You really don't, man. You really don't. Oliver Stone, he grew up. He was a rich-ish kid. He definitely wasn't poor. And he chose to go to Vietnam. He's a crazy dude.
Mm-hmm.
So he probably killed some people. And he hung out with the poor Americans out there doing what they had to do. They got drafted. He volunteered. He comes back. You see the way that he sees the world in his films. His movies are weird, bro.
And angry.
Even and righteously angry though.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a righteous anger. And he still leans to his weird. There's weirdness in his head, but you know, George Carlin said it, man. There doesn't have to be 6 dudes sitting in a room making a conspiracy when everybody's interests just align. Oliver Stone gets that. So you see in the JFK, he puts it straight out there, like Lyndon Johnson might have had something to do with this. That's what I think. Because cui bono, who benefits? You know what I'm saying? Any given Sunday. Look, man, we need the money. Okay? Shark is probably going to die.
Yeah.
Cameron Diaz is like, let's just cut him at the end of the season. Whatever. And when you see a scene like that, you think, oh, she's such a bitch, whatever. And then you realize that's a real conversation that these people have had.
That they
about
have to have.
countless players.
Yeah.
NFL dudes' careers are 3 years average. 3. Like, this shit is killing you, man. So he sees these types of things because of what he went through as a youth, and he's just he's out there screaming at the heavens, man, trying to do it. This is what he feels. These are his little righteous crusades. Natural Born Killers, that movie's insane.
Yeah.
But it's not just gratuitous for no reason, you know? TMZ doesn't exist without yeah. You know what I'm saying? I should say he predicts TMZ, basically, with that movie. Everything that's happening in the NCAA and NFL now with concussions and NIL, he calls it in this movie. He calls it all. I love Oliver Stone films, man.
I think they work best when he's angry. You can tell the films that he makes when they're not. Like some of his movies, don't feel that anger there.
Yeah.
And I guess the problem with being that angry guy is when you're angry for 40 years. Like you're like when he came back, you know, Born on the 4th of July, Platoon, you could feel that. Like you could legit feel that anger. And then this one, like, I guess this is a really random thing, but The Onion had an article about Marilyn Manson, and they're like, Marilyn Manson's now going door to door, trying to offend people. And like he went to like a suburb and knocked on the door, and the woman's like, "Oh, that was Marilyn Manson. Yeah, he was doing all this crazy stuff, but I thought it was cute." Like, you know, when you're around too long being like a provocateur, you eventually everyone's just like, "All right, we get it." I think he still made good movies after this, but this seemed kind of like his last really good angry one. Or like, does that make sense?
No, pretty much, man. Because after this,
World Trade Center.
After this, you get World Trade Center's kind of You get W, which south of the border, Wall Street 2, Electric Boogaloo. Which is, but to his credit, he manages to once again make you hate Gordon Gekko.
Yeah.
He's in case because people didn't really get it. Gordon Gekko was a lot of people's hero.
Yeah, that's bad. It's like Tyler Durden was people's hero.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know, like Snowden he made, and then he also did Alexander, which, you know, watching Alexander, I don't think it was. I remember not really loving it, but I remember there's being some wildly epic shots.
It's certainly a movie.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like I feel like anything you watch, at least you'll walk out of it and go, "Well, there's some cool stuff in there." Like I'm not trying to be reductive, but
right.
Like, and then but like he was so on the nose with everything. Even Jamie Foxx, like, all right, you know the quarterback. Like I know Cordell Stewart could run, Randall Cunningham could run, like Fran Turkington. Like running quarterbacks weren't. There have been running quarterbacks, but like would you say that Willie Beeman was kind of like a new breed? Because I mean, Steve Young ran, Fran ran.
Who
Randall
am I thinking
Cunningham
of?
ran.
Randall Cunningham. I'm thinking McNabb.
Yep, McNabb.
McNabb used to get out there. Warren Moon
had a lot. Like, so I'm looking at the rush attempts. Like Cam Newton has the most, but during that era, Randall Cunningham had 775. So before Michael Vick and Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson and Cam Newton, it's Randall Cunningham, and then John Elway, Steve Young, and then Fran Tarkenton.
And around the time of Steve Young, they were never complaining that he was leaving the pocket too much.
Right?
You know, they thought it was brilliant. But as soon as brothers do it, Exactly. As soon as brothers do it, why won't you guys stay in the pocket and just, do your check downs? Okay, you guys are just, that's not how you're supposed to play the game, all right? Oh
yeah.
God,
Uh,
nails it,
and like
nailed it.
Michael Vick has the most rushing yards, with over 6,000. But see,
Yeah.
but it's the modern ones. It's Vick, Newton, Wilson, and Jackson. But then it's number 5, Randall Cunningham, and then it was Steve Young and Fran Tarkenton. Did Randall Cunningham? So I grew up watching him, but did he get a lot of flack for running?
Well, he was just great,
Yeah,
and it was an overall. This is what we say about black quarterbacks. They're not smart enough.
Yeah.
They might be athletic,
Mm.
but because they're not smart enough, they don't have the patience to stand in the pocket and take hits. They don't want to wait for the defense to come, you see, and murder them. They want to run away. They're supposed to stay there and take the hits because that's what a leader does.
Yeah. They did a report on that, where like the way that people are discussed in sports, like remember in basketball when they used to talk about
the code words, yeah.
Yeah, and but for like I'm thinking of a name here, I don't know, Stockton or Hornacek or Kerr. They're like, oh, his basketball IQ, but then they talk about someone else, oh, he's explosive.
That's right,
like, guys.
That's right. White people are gym rats.
Yeah.
Because they're always practicing. They're gym rats.
Yeah, it's you're just guys, like Isaiah Thomas, right? They never said that he was like super smart on the court.
That's right.
But it's just but it's funny reading the stats. I don't know.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, you're right though. Willie moved, but then people are like, oh, he doesn't want to get hit by a quarterback.
Yeah, that's right. In your mind, you're thinking 300-pound man is trying to hit me as hard as he can with the force of his entire body. Should I stand there, or should I move as quickly as possible in the opposite direction? I still have the football because it's not basketball. I don't have to dribble it. I do what I want, But no, man, no. You have to have patience in the pocket, bro. You have to have patience. The CFL, they had a lot of black. Not a lot. They had some more. But the NFL, oh man.
I do distinctly remember when Vic started. It did feel, I loved watching him play. Like it just felt like something, I don't know, it was so fun watching him play. And then he had Mark Dunn with him there for a while, and like watching them play together. Oh man. But this is crazy. You know who is the second most rushing touchdowns ever?
Who?
Josh Allen.
Oh, wow.
53. It's like Cam Newton has 75, but Josh Allen has been playing from 2018 to now, and he has 53. Steve Young has 43. Isn't it's interesting? Michael Vick only has 36. And like Cordell Stewart has 38.
Cordell Stewart is basically who Willie Beeman was.
Yeah.
Because Cordell Stewart came in the league and he was a wide receiver.
Yep.
And then it was like, actually, he's a pretty good quarterback.
He had to
Willie
fight.
Beeman, yeah.
He was pushing back against that. He's like pushed back against there's claims that he was a better wide receiver than quarterback. But I was looking at his stats, right? So he started he was 10 years. He had 2,874 rushing yards, 38 rushing touchdowns. Like the guy could run and pass.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, no, you're right. And then they wanted him to be a wide receiver.
Mm-hmm. He was nicknamed Slash. He started in 97.
Oh, okay.
He struggled after Chan Gailey went to go coach the Cowboys. And then Bill Cowher becomes the coach, and it's But apparently they got on him because he was black, because he was a slashing quarterback, and they said he was gay. And they were trying to use that against him. Just brutal. All I know is back at that time, 97, 98, those were the N64 days. And if you picked the Steelers in NFL Blitz, you were going to win every time. He was awesome in NFL Blitz.
Nice.
Cordell Stewart. He was awesome in that game. It was so great. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know that they did some talking with Warren Moon in this, but do you think Cordell is probably probably closer to him than Warren Moon?
I think that Warren Moon, I don't think he actually played another position. I think he
Yeah,
was
that's
just
true.
just trying
Quarterback.
to get in. He
Hmm.
was just trying to get in. But more so of the Willie, because the Willie Beeman story, according to the movie, he he was going to get drafted, and then he got busted for taking clothes. He got busted for taking a suit, and then he dropped 6 rounds in the draft, and they picked him, and they made him a cornerback, and and then trying to tackle running backs and large wide receivers ruined his shoulder, which you get that little hint of at the end. I went to a specialist and I'm scared. And then for a moment you think, oh my God, Willie Beeman is not going to make it. And then you realize, oh wait, they literally took a vertebrae out of the quarterback's back, and he came back and played in a month. So Willie Beeman will be fine. But anyway, um, yeah, Willie Beeman gets hurt. And finally, after 6 years, 6 years is a long time in the NFL because, again, the average career is 3. So after 6 years, he finally gets his chance to be a slashing quarterback. Cordell Stewart, yeah, he was a wide receiver first. That's insane. I hated this. Of course, I'm a Giants fan at the time, but man, you know, Cordell Stewart was good, man.
Yeah, I remember him playing.
And Terrell
Yeah.
Owens was in this movie too as a cameo.
Yeah,
He
isn't
got a
that
couple
crazy?
of cameos, catching touchdowns. Yeah.
Oh man, and Bill Bellamy look good in this role too. Like
I can catch anything.
they cast this movie so well, man. Just
Yeah.
and even bringing in, I always just want to call him Scrubs, which is a terrible thing to say, but John C. McGinley is Jack Rose. Apparently, just watching
Oh,
him in this movie, just
McGinley.
being like
Plug
Jim
and
Rome.
play.
Yeah, McGinley. Yeah, like being like
Plug
Jim
and
Rome.
play. Plug and play character actor.
Like I
Nailed
love
the
him in
Jim
all the
Rome
Stone
thing.
movies, and then he gets
Oh
a
yeah.
huge role in Scrubs. But yeah, just it's funny. I knew him from Platoon first. It's like before I saw Scrubs,
Yes.
I'm like, oh hey, it's Stone's guy.
That's right.
But yeah,
That's
just
right.
I don't know, just the way that I think they were able to capture this movie was really ahead of its time because
Yeah.
I think 99 had a decent amount of those though, like Office Space, Fight Club.
Oh yeah.
And a lot of these movies didn't do too well. Like Any Given Sunday did well, but none of these were spectacularly popular when they came out. And then everyone watched them later and went, "Oh wait, these are great." But I mean,
Yeah,
Ebert loved
because
this film, but
predicting the future, is not it's not something people don't really want to know how the sausage is made. And that's the problem with Office Space in this one. Because they're just prescient, man.
oh
Poignant.
yeah, Office Space didn't connect with me for a while. I think when you watch it when you're 17,
Mhm.
you just haven't been destroyed by the world yet. So when you watch it
Mhm.
later in life and you've had a desk job, then you're like, oh, okay, tchotchkes. Oh, okay, these bosses. I think was the best conversation Office Space when they're trying to tell the person to do something, but they can't technically tell them to do something. Like the tchotchkes. Oh, do you want me to wear more tchotchkes? Well, you have enough, but do you want to wear more? So you tell me to get more. Well,
Passive
yeah.
aggressiveness.
Well, what do you think? I've had conversations like that. I don't want to
I
talk about
have.
it too much. When it's like, so Mark, you have a student with this grade. What do you think about this grade? So are you telling me to give them that grade? No, I'm just thinking like, what do you think? I'm like, oh, okay. So you're telling me to give them a better grade. No, we can't do that. We can't do
No,
that.
we can't do that. No.
But what can they do to get this grade? So you're saying I should just give them this grade? Well, no, they need to earn it. And I'm like, well,
Mhm.
they can't earn it because everything's closed.
That's
Well,
right. It's over.
what do you think? It's like, okay, I'm gonna go back there and give them a C. But
Yeah.
it's one of those things.
Yeah.
I hate those
Yeah.
conversations, or those are my least favorite. But I guess they technically can't say it to the person. Like you can't say that,
That's right.
but
That's
you just
right.
have to talk all around it.
That's right. That's right.
And
The passive aggressive nature of it. I absolutely saw that movie and immediately almost quit my job because I got it immediately. I was like, oh shit. They're right. They're right. It was incredible.
So I have a question. What do you think about Tony D'Amato? Do you think he knew that everyone was getting those shots? Like he knew what James Woods was doing, Dr. Harvey Mandrake was doing, right?
There's no doubt.
And so at the end, when he's like, oh, okay, so now you're going to be self-righteous.
Yeah. He's absolutely right. Yeah. Everyone is complicit. Everyone is complicit. He literally says 20 minutes later in the movie, you'll be all right, Cap. If there's a problem, you could just get the needle.
Yeah.
He just throws that out there. You know
Oh,
what I
man.
mean? It's nothing stops football. These people have to win at all costs, and that cost includes your sanity and your ability to maybe lift up a bag of potato chips when you're 60.
Oof.
Yeah, yeah, they know what they're doing.
But that's
He's
why that
complicit.
line is brilliant, though. Like,
Hmm.
so James Woods is like, you knew this the whole time. Now you're firing me because it's bad.
Yeah,
Like, I like that, though. I like that James Woods got that in because you know Pacino
absolutely.
knew,
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no question.
but Harvey
There's no
Mandrake got the
question.
job done.
Yeah, yeah. I need Shark, and in the room. Oh, you have to sign a waiver. What's a waiver going to do if he dies on the field? The waivers for his protection, not for the player's protection.
Oh, man.
You know, one thing I do love though about this movie is okay. Willie plays the first game, they lose. Willie plays the second game, they win, right? And then he plays the third game and they win. So his record is 2-1 as his quarterback. Then they go into the bye week and then they have to play in New York in the rain, right? And New York in the rain is where the team betrays him because of his comments about how the defense is terrible and everybody is selfish. So realize that he goes from unknown to steaming beaming with the Metrex contract, the music video, the cars, the interviews. That's in the bye week, man. That's in the bye
And he
week.
makes the music video.
He makes but the way that the time passes in the movie, it feels like years have gone by.
Yeah.
But it's literally the space between his third game and his fourth game.
I mean,
It's
listen,
14 days.
things move fast, man. Look at Rookie of the Year. You know, look at like, remember Freddie Adu, how big fast he got. I don't know, Linsanity in New York. Like that went
14
huge.
days, bro.
Yeah.
He went from in 14 days, he goes from this guy's throwing up to my name is Willie.
Yeah.
Beeman. I love that. I love that. The Metrex ad campaign, bro, is commercials and the screen print on the sides of buses all over the country in 14 days. You want to talk about the engine moving? That's why when he gives that speech, man. So you want to trade me or cut me or whatever the hell? My value is going to be worth 10 times as much because he's just trying to secure the bag, and you can't be mad at him for that.
No, that's when a movie's good. I remember I was recently on an episode of the Out Now with Aaron and A podcast when we were doing the 2023 horror awards, and one of the guys that was on there, his name's Professor Mike Dillon, and he was talking about a scene in a movie called Anatomy of a Fall where the wife
Great
and
movie.
yeah, oh, dude, it's so good. And like
Yeah.
there's a scene where the wife and husband are going at each other, but they're both dropping truths on each other. Like he'll say
Right.
something, then she'll say something. You're like, oh, yeah, that's true. Then he'll say something, and you go, oh, well, that's also a good point. Like
Right.
that's a good conversation because it's not just one. It's gray. It's both people had things to say, and both of them made sense, but they're both seeing things from so totally different of an area, and
Right.
that's a good dialogue scene.
Mm-hmm.
And this movie, I think, is successful because James Woods wants to live that life. Like on that, sorry if I keep referencing this, but on that Howie Long
No,
and his
you're
son,
fine.
Howie Long and his son kept talking about how a lot of the doctors just want to be around the NFL because they love that world. Like,
Yeah.
and
They're
so
star bleepers.
like yeah, and like James Woods, like he wants to be part of that world. And
Yeah.
so like, but I like that James Woods, he's a total scumbag, but he knew the coach knew what he was doing. Like that's just what you
Absolutely.
did.
Absolutely.
And then with Cameron Diaz, there's she wants to sell all these people. Then you're also like, yeah, that makes sense. LL Cool J wants his money. Jamie Foxx wants his money. That scene where they're talking about with the Ben-Hur plane when he's like, you got to be a leader. You got to earn their respect. But he's like, no, man, I want to make my money. I want to make a name for myself. I
Right.
think Jamie drops some amazing truths on him. And then, but I
Yeah.
also think that Pacino's right in like, hey, you got to be a leader. Like you got to lead. And so both of them have something to say there. And like just watching Lauren Holly as a trophy wife, no, you're getting back in there, you're keeping her. Like there's just kind of crazy that there's no like mustache twirling bad guy like Martell and the Replacements. Like these people all have something going on in their life. This is like Shark, he's risking his body, but he doesn't have much. Like he just wants to
Right.
he just wants to play, he wants that bonus. So
Right.
it's I just find it all really kind of like, and like the world that is created, the world of celebrity that's created around him, it's true. Like, you hear some
Yeah.
insane stories.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I like that all the characters in this movie, I mean, they're very heightened, whatever, but they just, there's no, I don't know, there's no mustache twirling villain. Like, even Elizabeth Berkley, she's, she shuts them down, but it's also like, yeah, he shouldn't have done that. You're a client. It's
That's
just
right.
like,
Yeah.
and it's just kind of fun to watch. Like, it's, and it's, I think it's better when you're older because then you understand power. Like, when I was 17, I love the razzle dazzle of it, right? I love
Right. Right.
the Willard
Right.
Beeman of it. I like the energy of it. But then you get to your, you're in your 40s and you just start thinking about all this kind of stuff. You're like, oh wow, like this is a movie you can watch. This is like Starship Troopers. You can watch it with your lizard brain and just love all the cuts and action and sports and drugs and parties and all that kind of stuff. Or you can look at it and be like, oh wow, this is like a legit Oliver Stone thinking piece. And that's why those are movies I love, when they can be embraced by the mainstream to watch on a superficial level, or you could look at it and just be like, oh wow, this is a lot to say.
100%, man.
And it
100%.
succeeds greatly in that manner.
100%. This is why Thanos resonated for so many people
Yeah.
in the MCU, because look, comic book Thanos, he wanted death to be his girlfriend, and so he decided to kill half the universe to make death happy.
Yeah, no one's
Very
liking
bleak.
that.
Very bleak. We're gonna flip that. We're gonna make Thanos the ultimate eco-terrorist. He's doing it to preserve life. So he feels that he's in the right. And all of the best villains feel like they're in the right. Roy Batty from Blade Runner.
Oh,
I mean, he
so
doesn't
good.
want to kill everybody.
Yeah.
He literally just wants to live longer than 4 years.
Yeah, just let me live.
I get that.
Yeah.
He wants to live longer than 4 years. It's not that he lived 4 years and he's becoming more aware of things. He was aware immediately. Like, you're going to die in 4 years. You're super strong. You're basically invulnerable. You can walk around in outer space without a helmet, but you're going to die in 4 years. Nah, I don't like that, man. I don't like that. You going to give me more life? Nope. Murder. Oh, well. Now I'm going to go be sad. And that's why he doesn't kill Harrison Ford. He's just like, yeah, life sucks, dude. Everything disappears. Oh, you get all these cool memories.
Tears in the rain.
I'm standing on attack ships watching shit blow up, and now I'm just going to die, and it's all for nothing. I'm not going to kill you, Harrison Ford. Just break your fingers. Go to hell. Shut up, Deckard. You're also a Blade. You're a robot too, anyway. Spoiler alert. And that's why the Any Given Sunday, everybody, good, quote unquote, good guy or bad guy, they are all motivated by real things.
That's why I love Mr. Glass from
right.
Unbreakable. Like, he's one of my all-time favorite villains, because just grew up reading comic books and broken in most of his time in hospitals and convinced that there has to be someone opposite him. So he does these atrocities because he believes in it. And he was right.
Yeah.
Like, that's one of the greatest villains ever. And I think a lot of people liked Michael B. Jordan's Killmonger too. Like, because he believed in what he had, and all those movies made over $1 billion. So, but I think I don't know. I just think I think sometimes you do need a mustache twirling villain, just because whatever the movie is.
Yeah.
But like, it's nice that you watch this, and even watch a Platoon. There were some like terrible people, but you're in Vietnam. You're getting slaughtered. You're dying. You're bitter at the world. You hate people. Like,
Berenger is a terrible human being, because look at his face. Yeah. What happened to him? You know what I mean? What happened to him? Because he's another guy, just like the poor people from the Midwest and the South that got drafted. He got drafted too, man. He didn't volunteer. So now he down VC. Look at his face. He's been through some things, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's insane. He's over the edge. And it's just, I'm doing what I have to do to survive. I will kill Charlie Sheen, aka Oliver Stone, if I have to. So yeah,
and this movie should not have a 52%. And I know, like, the thing people complain about it is like the hyperactive editing. But
what does that mean?
Here's the thing, though.
Shut up. The reason, I'm sorry, man. This was prime MTV time.
Yes.
What are we talking about? We don't like hyperactive editing. Literally a TV channel was built around things like this. And suddenly, this is where you want to draw the line and plant your flag against the greatest football movie of all time. Shut up.
And
I'm sorry.
no, it's
Rant
amazing.
over.
And a year
God.
prior, he wanted to base a lot of his football scenes off of Saving Private Ryan. So Saving Private Ryan got
Yes.
lauded for that. Do you want to know why Steven Spielberg was ahead of time and under budget on that Omaha Beach fight?
Why?
Because he shot the way he did. Also, he has the best in the world crew. But
Yeah.
you can't have gigantic long shots. You got to get in the action. Once you're in the action, you can get more shots. And you don't need 500 people running in the background when you're straight up on Tom Hanks' face. Like you can
Right.
get shots, you can move, you can stay mobile, you can go. Like you don't need setup. You don't need a Lawrence of Arabia shot. You don't need a oneer. You know what I mean? You're just like, you're in it, and you're moving and you're grooving. And like to create that like football, right? To create that atmosphere in football, which if you think about football, man, the majority of the game spent in the huddle. Or in between plays. So
yeah,
you create that Dan Marino said that playing football, it was like running down a highway with cars coming at you. Like just like so that's
trying
what
to throw football,
yeah.
right?
He's like, that's what Stone created here. And this takes place only in about 5 weeks. You have 40 million characters. You can't do Berg, like you can't do long shots. Like you can't do big wide shots, oneers. Like you gotta get in. And also too, if you're gonna go with hyperactive camera work, you can't just do it for an eighth of the movie. The entire film has to. The one time that this movie slows down really is when he makes his speech at the end. And the reason for that is because Pacino dropping an all-time speech.
Bombs.
So you don't want to cut to everybody. You don't want to cut to Gladiators in the Sky. You don't want to cut to Ben-Hur. You just want to listen to the speech. It's edited interestingly, and there's reaction shots to it. But that's probably the most centered moment of the film because it's one of the best moments of the film. So Stone knew what he was doing, and he wasn't just making it hyperactive to be hyperactive. What he achieved was like this heightened atmosphere that stresses you out. That it's stressful for coaches, man. It's stressful for players. So you and owners, man. It's stressful for owners. So it's exactly what the movie needed. Now I know a lot of people go hard at the speech, the conversation between Jamie Foxx and Pacino with Ben-Hur and the editing, and to a certain extent, I think he went. I don't think he needed it in that moment, but it's still, man, like that's what you got to do when making this movie. You got to and listen, it made over 100 million, and for as hard as it is, this is a hard R movie.
Yeah, it is.
It gets ugly in spots, like it's crazy.
Yeah, it
so
no punches are pulled here, none.
And like when you do that, you almost expect to make less money, but this movie cleared 100 mil worldwide, and it's revered. So I mean, I don't see any issue with it, but it was 99. So, like Matrix was blowing people's minds. Like people hadn't seen anything like the Matrix ever before. So they were, I mean, if they watch Hong Kong like cinema, they had, or like, like Blade a year prior, but I digress. But it's, we weren't there yet. But then, what's interesting? Born Identity comes out.
Ready.
Born Identity, oh no, wait, the second Born movie comes out. The fight scenes are blinding, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's brilliant."
You can't see anything because you're having a seizure with the camera.
Yeah,
it was so annoying. Yeah,
but everyone's like, "Oh, it's incredible! It's incredible!" And but then he does it here, and just I don't know. That's the thing, though, man, and that's why this movie was so hard to make. That's why the cameraman thought he was having brain cancer. When you make a movie, like if you watch a movie with parts that are fast and then slow and then fast and slow, you're out of that movie. Like it's not. You're not enjoying the ride because you're being pulled and your eyes notice, your brain notices, like you realize the differences. But then you make something like this and you're rarely getting pulled out of it because it's all of it. So you're never be like, oh man, that caught me off guard. No, because the whole thing keeps you off guard. So it's just odd that movie critics wouldn't pick up on that.
You just can't look at this movie and say, well, I didn't like the football, so I hate this movie. The drama in between the games is just, it's because what other football movies have there been that nail the drama like this? There is something called The Fifth Quarter from 2010. Terrible. 80 for Brady. Shut up. Concussion. Ugh. Will Smith doing an accent. School Ties, where you get Brendan Fraser. He's going through some anti-Semitic stuff. Good movie. doing the Keenan Ivory Wayans message, screaming at you the whole time. But that's Frasier doing his thing. The football in that movie is better than any given. No.
Mm-mm.
Draft Day with Kevin Costner. Yawn. The Express 2008. The story of Ernie Davis. I have fell asleep already. And on and on and on. Any Given Sunday is the best football movie. Period. Point blank. That's it. Don't tell me about Invincible with Marky Mark feeling the vibrations. All right. I do like Remember the Titans because Denzel rules, and he's secretly a gangster. So we will not slander Denzel Washington.
And Last Boy Scout has a few good football moments that are horrifying.
The Last Boy Scout is not a football movie.
No, but I'm just joking. Like, remember he pulls out the
It's
gun?
amazing. Yeah.
And just starts shooting
Billy
people.
Blanks.
Yeah.
Why didn't Billy Blank's career take off after that? That was amazing.
Now
that scene was amazing.
Oh man, just I will say, like I think North Dallas 40.
Yeah,
that was fun, but it was more about, I don't know, it was more about the characters and like old school football. Yeah. What about Longest Yard?
The new one or the old one?
The old one.
You see, and now that's the thing. Now we have to the remix.
Like Nolte and Mac Davis are pretty great in North Dallas 40, but but this one's way better. Like but you know what's interesting? If you film football from the 70s or 60s, it was such different football. So you're probably not going to film it. You're not going to film it the same way as you would this movie.
It's on the ground. Yeah, it's on the ground. That's another thing too. That was a controversy at the time of football. People did like passing way more than just running into people over and over again. 2 yards, 3 yards, 2 yards, 3 yards. That was also another controversy at the time, going into 21st century football, which is why football today has so many rules. Is that a catch? Isn't it a catch? Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. Because they were also trying to open up the offense the same way the NBA did by relaxing some of the rules on defense, letting wide receivers get a little bit more crazy out there with the contact that they're able to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's another thing that Any Given Sunday nails. Just, shut up, Rotten Tomatoes. You don't give my movie 52%. The movie rules. It rules. It's better than Harvard beats Yale. What is this? 92%. I can't believe this, man. Brian's song. That movie's super depressing. It's more about cancer than football.
I think you're right, though. I really believe that when movies are really ahead of their time, they're dismissed. Oof. I really believe that. Like I don't know. This is really random, but Mac Davis has a song called "It's Hard to Be Humble" that I love. Have you ever listened to it?
I have not, but I will.
He's like, "Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way." It's a total joke. Like he's being an idiot.
No, I believe it.
I remember one time I played it for people because I'm like, "This song's hilarious," and they're like, "Of course you like this song, Mark." I'm like, "No, I don't mean I'm like this is a joke. Like this is funny," but everyone's like, "Okay, Mark, you're perfect in every way, huh?" I'm like, "What's happening?"
No, those are people hating on you. Actually, yeah, that's what that is. You need to avoid those people at all costs.
Yeah,
those people clearly misunderstand who you are as a human being, and you shouldn't deal with them anymore.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
no, I don't. Trust me.
Meanwhile, The Blind Side 66%, Any Given Sunday 52%. Shut up, all of you. Shut up. Unbelievable. You don't deserve movies. How dare you? You don't deserve electricity. Oh man, look. You know what? Podcast over. I'm leaving.
33%.
The Water Boy. My problem is as I get older, I can't watch Adam Sandler movies anymore. I can literally go back and watch an episode of DuckTales, and I cannot watch Adam Sandler movies as an adult. And I don't know what my problem is. I don't know. I don't know what that says about me.
Well, listen, man. Well, you know what's crazy is Varsity Blues came out this year in 99, and I'm not the first one saying this, but it was interesting that 99, 2 football movies dealt with concussions and terrible like pain and like people who just give you shots to play. 99 wasn't like the best year for football in general.
Well, not for happy football. Not for ignore how the sausage is made football. That's for sure.
Good old John Voight. But John Voight was an evil coach in that one.
Well, John Voight is an evil person, but that's another thing. Anyway.
Well, listen, Norbert, thank you for joining me, man. This was we got to do a 1999 draft.
The 99 draft, man.
A little back, like 99 I started working in a movie theater. And I think 94, 99 are in 04 are my favorite years for just watching movies. Because 12, I could just watch whatever I wanted. Like I could just I bought tickets for Time Cop. I watched Pulp Fiction. Like I watched everything you could watch in the theater in 94. And then 99, I started working in a theater and I could watch movies for free. And then but that summer was magical. You know, you had like Phantom Menace and like just Blair Witch
Some
and like
bangers.
even like Deep Blue Sea, but even Runaway Bride did insanity business. Like we're talking mind-blowing business.
Mhm.
And so then there's 04 is when I don't know, like when I was I was in college. I was I was a senior
Mhm.
and I was bouncing. I lived in an apartment that had $240 a month rent. We had no cable. I don't think we ran the air conditioner, so life overhead was very low for me.
Yeah, Jesus.
I didn't have to pay for any beer because I worked at a bar, and I was like doing well. I got done in school in 4 years. Like it wasn't really that hard.
Legend.
And I would just go watch movies. Like there's a movie theater near me. It was an independent theater, and no one ever went, but I would be like the only one in the theater. And I watched some of the most like coolest movies in '04 by myself, like in a theater. I was just happy.
Yes. Yeah,
So
man.
that was like a great year. But 99 came out. I've covered so many 99 movies. I base an entire podcast around Deep Blue Sea, which is 99. So I figured, Norbert, let's do a 1999 draft.
Let's go for it, man. My selections are gonna be a little off the beaten path. They're
Ooh,
gonna
I
be a
like
little
that.
little off beat. I'm
All
going
right.
off beat.
All right.
All right.
Well, you get first pick.
All right. And I'm gonna show you how off beat I'm going. My first pick is The General's Daughter.
Yes. It's
I
a good
love
movie,
this
man.
movie, and I don't know why.
Because it's good. It's like, it's funny. This movie sold out a lot. So everyone else would watch movies and then they would sell out, and everyone's like, all right, let's just go to The General's Daughter. But there's like a mystery there. There's a good cast there. Travolta was still throwing some heaters. It was a good
Bro,
film, 99.
the heel turn of Timothy Hutton and Clarence Williams III, the James Cromwell
Yeah.
of it all. You know what I'm saying? The John Travolta doing this weird accent that I don't quite understand. My name is Delbert. The soundtrack and the rooster cries. I love this movie, man. I watch this movie a few times a year, and I don't know why. I love it.
We should probably add that to the list then. I'm down to talk
It's
weird movies.
it's a good movie, man. It's a good movie, and I bet you Rotten Tomatoes has it listed like
21%.
22 or whatever.
Hey, you're really close. But 6.4 on IMDb, so people get it.
It's a pot boiler, man.
Right?
It's a noirish. It's good.
It's like an old school thriller that's fun with a
Yeah,
deep cast.
yeah, and some very disturbing stuff, quite honestly.
Okay, well, since you went so off the beaten track, I'm going to take a movie that's really weird and it's probably just going to lose it for me. But it's a movie called Outside Providence. I don't know if you've heard of it.
It sounds like something starring Frances McDormand, where
So
everybody wears flannel shirts.
it's with Sean Hoddesy, where it's like this guy's name is Tim Dunphy, and he's like he's going nowhere. All he does is smoke pot, and he hangs out with his buddy Drugs, and then but then he gets
Wait, his buddy's name is Drugs,
yeah.
and he smokes pot.
Yeah, and and his dad is he's like a blue collar dad played by Alec Baldwin. He sends him to a prep school, and he meets Amy Smart there, whatever he falls for her. But there's a line in this movie where Timothy Dunphy's like, yeah, my brother, because his brother's in a wheelchair, and he's like, yeah, like my brother, back in the day, he had a freak accident. We were playing touch football, and he fell off the roof. But he says it in the
Why
most
was he on the
earnest,
roof?
but he says it in the most earnest way possible. Like it's not like it could just some people would play it for a joke, but he played it like the most earnestly possible, and like for like he gives his girlfriend one of those things from the dentist that attaches that napkin around your neck, or so
Yes.
like he just gives her that as a necklace. He's like this total idiot, but it's very earnest, and I just like it. I've always liked it. It's
And
no one talks
what's the
about
name
it.
of this?
It's called Outside Providence, and I have it's just a charming little thing. Like it's very 90s, but I don't know. Sean Hoddesy's just funny in it, and there's a kid named Drugs.
And the soundtrack is mostly Sixpence None the Richer.
I don't know. Let me look it up. I don't think so. That's
And
she's
the
all that.
and the trailer is do 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 do
Do,
do
do,
do
do,
do.
do. I hope not. All right, let's see. What do they got? They got
Oh man.
Let's see.
Jonathan
They have the
Brandis.
Who. They have the Who, Allman Brothers, Billy Martin. Let's see. The Beach
Alec
Boys,
Baldwin.
Mountain,
Whoa. It's got a
Steppenwolf.
cast.
Yeah, Steppenwolf, Leonard Skinner, Shock and Blue, Doobie Brothers, Paul McCartney. Yes, Eagles,
And it's a Miramax thing. Okay, I get this movie.
Steely Dan.
I get this movie.
Oh, Electric
Yeah.
Light Orchestra. Yeah, so no Semi-Charmed Life.
Okay. I get this movie, man.
You get it?
I get this movie.
But
it's a Ferrelli movie by Miramax in the 90s. Yeah.
But here's the
I
thing.
agree with
It's not like, remember how aggressive movies were back then, like American Pie and those
Yes.
movies. This wasn't that aggressive. Like it was more holdovers than American Pie, but nothing like holdovers, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I want to
Okay.
pick it.
No problem. Good
Hey,
call.
listen, man, you went for a weird one, so I'm doing that too.
I'm going to continue doing just movies that you wouldn't expect from the 90s, from 99. The next one I'm going with is I'm going with Three Kings.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going with Three Kings because it's George Clooney in a Clooney. It's Clooney doing a Clooney thing.
Fighting
And they're
David
stealing-
Russell.
They're stealing gold or something. It's been a long time. But they're stealing Iraqi gold and they're just rakishly handsome. Whatever.
And plugging people in the head.
It's a cromulent film.
Ice
It's
Cube.
got Ice
doing
Cube
great.
for some reason. Yeah. It's got two rappers, if you count Marky Mark in that way.
I miss 90s Marky Mark. Like we're talking about Fear and Three Kings. Like I liked him in the 90s.
Yeah. Yeah. He was doing a lot of weird stuff out there.
You know what's the best? Like in I Heart Huckabees, Mark Wahlberg has a very interesting earnestness that he doesn't use anymore. But when he was younger, there was a interesting earnestness to his characters
Yeah, that's right.
that I liked. All right. Well, since you went odd, I'm gonna go again. I'm gonna go Summer of Sam because as a huge John Leguizamo fan, and I'm a big Spike Lee fan, and like I remember watching it, and I remember for some reason thinking Adrian Brody was the lead, but he got thin red lined and cut out of the lead, and John Leguizamo became the lead.
Yeah.
And just watching him headline this movie, but like you could feel, like I love the soundtrack. You could feel how like gritty it was, and just watching Leguizamo headline a movie was awesome in '99. So I'm gonna take that.
It's a dark movie too, man.
Yeah, it's bad,
It's a dark movie.
but Leguizamo's great.
Oh yeah. That's New York. What do you want? What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? That's the man's gonna hold it down. All right. Number 3. We're gonna go extremely weird. Schwarzenegger, End of Days. I love this movie. Why? Because up until now, Arnold Schwarzenegger is always just, get to the chopper. End of Days, he plays a grizzled New York City dude who works as a mercenary, basically. He says he's a security guy, but we know what that means. His family was murdered, and it seems like his wife went through some bad things during that murder, let's just say, in some kind of weird home invasion. And it's 2000 party over, oops, out of time. Everyone thinks that 1999, the world is going to end. Gabriel Byrne appears. He's the devil. Like the devil.
Devil.
The devil.
He walks in that restaurant.
Yeah. He walks in a restaurant and sexually assaults a woman and then just like glares at a dude like, yeah, I did that. And what? And then he blows up the restaurant. And you're like, wait, what? How did this movie just start? The movie is insane. The movie's insane. And Schwarzenegger, people want to say Schwarzenegger's a bad actor.
No,
Bro,
they're wrong.
they're so wrong. They're so wrong. He plays this really well. I want to see my daughter and my wife. You bastard. Leave her alone. Christine. Ah. You have to watch this movie. You have to. And what the sidekick, what's his name?
Kevin
Pollak.
Pollak, yeah.
This is Kevin Pollak, still kind of feels like